Buddha said that life is filled with suffering. This suffering is not given by others, nor is it some punishment of fate. It arises from our own attachment. We keep trying to hold on to things that are bound to change. We wish that impermanence could turn into eternity, that people would always follow our will. But the world doesn't stop changing just because we want it to. The more we try to control and cling, the more pain we create in our own hearts. Seeing this clearly, the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths: suffering, its cause, its cessation, and the path that leads to its cessation. Suffering is a fact of life. The cause of suffering is attachment. The cessation of suffering is possible, and the path is the way to end that suffering. To be free from suffering, we can't rely on outside forces. We must rely on practice. And practice, in essence, is made up of three simple things: morality, concentration, and wisdom. The Noble Eightfold Path is simply the detailed expression of these three. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood belong to morality. They keep our behavior pure. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration belong to concentration. They help us steady the mind. Right view and right thought belong to wisdom. They help the mind see clearly. Morality is the foundation, because in the beginning our minds are not yet under our control. We often know what is right, yet still act against it. Morality is like a rope that gently ties us, keeping us from being carried away by impulses. It's not punishment, it's protection. Like training a wild horse, you must first put on the reins so it doesn't run wildly. Once it learns to walk straight, even if you loosen the reins, it will stay on the right path. Morality works the same way. We start with restraint, which turns into habit, and habit becomes natural. When our actions become clean, the mind also begins to quiet down. When the mind calms, concentration begins. Concentration doesn't mean forcing yourself not to think. It means learning to stay steady. A concentrated mind isn't easily disturbed by what's happening outside. Suppose someone says something that makes you angry. Before, you might have reacted immediately. Now you notice, I'm getting angry. You take a deep breath and watch that anger arise and fade away. You're still the same person, but now you're no longer controlled by your emotions. That ability to observe yourself without being swept away, that's the power of concentration. Concentration also helps us keep our moral conduct. Often we're not ignorant of what's right. We just can't follow through because our minds are weak. Even knowing we shouldn't say or do certain things, we still do them. Right. Concentration gives us inner strength, the power to make our hearts obey our understanding. In this way, you can truly make the mind do what it intends. Not in the sense of getting whatever you want, but being able to shape your inner state, to become calm when you choose, patient when anger arises, and steady when life feels uncertain. With this strength, morality no longer feels like restraint. It becomes a natural expression of peace and kindness. When the mind is steady, we begin to see our own thoughts more clearly. As soon as a thought arises, we can recognize it. Is it good or harmful, greedy or compassionate? Seeing clearly allows us to choose the right way to speak, act, and live. At that point, right speech, right action, and right livelihood become purer and more natural. And as concentration deepens, mindfulness and clear thinking grow stronger. The calmer the mind, the more clearly we can see. The clearer we see, the less we are dragged by emotions or the outer world. When morality and concentration mature, wisdom naturally shines forth. Wisdom here doesn't mean cleverness. It means seeing things as they really are. You begin to see that everything arises and passes according to causes and conditions, that nothing can be held forever. The heart then relaxes. It no longer clings, no longer gets trapped in its own emotions, desires, or thoughts. You realize that the world outside hasn't changed. The one that changed is your mind. True liberation isn't about escaping anything. It's about understanding so deeply that suffering simply dissolves. The Buddha's teaching is actually very simple. With morality, the heart becomes stable. With stability, understanding arises. With understanding, suffering falls away. The Eightfold Path unfolds in this way. The first 3 steps help us stop creating new suffering. The middle 3 help us stay grounded in the present. And the last 2 help us see the truth clearly. Morality keeps us from chaos. Concentration keeps us from confusion. And wisdom keeps us from delusion. When these 3 work together, the mind becomes steady and bright. Practice is not about becoming a saint. It's about learning not to be tossed around by life's pains. Even starting from one mindful breath, one kind word, or one moment of awareness, we are already walking the same path that leads to peace and wisdom. It is the same path the Buddha walked, and we can walk it too.